So welcome back to another episode of Street Switch Photography. Yes, I'm back on YouTube and we've got some very interesting news today. We've got a couple of things to talk about. Let's roll the intro. So I don't know if you remember this guy that's on the screen right now, Ruben. He was basically in charge or put in charge of children at a children's home or a summer camp in Melton Mowbray or in and around the area. I won't be saying too much, but he's recently been up court and he's found to have been a paedophile. He has abused multiple children. He has also been giving children sweets that were laced with some sort of narcotic. This will be one of the stories today that we're actually going on. Let's go over to the website and see actually what's being said about it. This is a website from NEMM. So let's read what it says. Summer camp poisoner to be sentenced next year. Why next year? That's one question I'd be asking, is why next year? That's not acceptable. But I know that the police have put themselves under investigation for not actually seeing this before it actually happened, because for the simple reason it was reported beforehand and the Leicestershire police have put themselves under investigation for it. But a man who admitted to lacing sweets with tranquilizers before going on to abuse two boys at a Leicestershire summer camp will be sentenced next year. 76-year-old John Ruben from Ruddington in Nottingham was arrested when 8 children and 1 adult felt ill at a summer camp being held in Stathing Lodge near Melton Mowbray in July of this year. Now, it was reported before this. This will come on to something that I've had an experience with the police just recently as well. Ruben had already admitted to 17 offences. 17 offences, for God's sake. What the actual hell is wrong with this man? That's quite sick, let's be honest. 17 offences. Ruben had already admitted to 17 offences at a previous hearing, including 8 counts of willful ill treatment of 8 separate children. One caught, I don't know whether I can read this, caught assaulted by penetration of a 13-year-old boy. That is, of all the things that are wrong in this world, of all the things that are sick in this world, this guy raped a 13-year-old boy whilst the boy was under the influence of some type of narcotic. This disgusting nonce, this pervert, this paedophile, here on the screen right now, should never see the light of day again. Ever. Why didn't the police pick up on this beforehand when it was reported the first time round? This is why the police have put themselves under investigation. Absolutely fucking disgusting, excuse my language. Ruben pleaded not guilty to a second charge of assault by penetration of a 13-year-old boy. Now, what we've got to remember is innocent until proven guilty, and everybody has the right to a trial by jury, but not according to David Lemmy. But anyway, we'll carry on. Hearing today. Thursday at Leicestershire Crown Court, Ruben was told by the prosecution that he would face trial for this charge, but it would be a lie on file. Should have put a paedophile. You can read on, because, I mean, some of the stuff that I've read about this guy has been shocking. He used to be a veterinary nurse of some description. So he knew what he was doing with these narcotics. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he was at this religious Stathing Lodge place where parents sent their children thinking that they would be very safe there. And then this happens and this comes out. The parents must be so distraught. My thoughts are with the parents. My thoughts are with the kids and everything else, you know. I mean, I just don't know what else to say. I tried to do a story on this a few weeks ago, and it sort of, it makes you so angry to the point your piss boils. Do you know what I mean? Now, there's one thing I will say. These police officers that have to interview this disgusting individual, how the hell they keep their composure, I honestly do not know. Because I would be across that table grabbing him by the throat. I would not be able to stop myself. So how they have the control to actually do this job, all power to them. All power to them, because it must be the most difficult thing anybody could do. Knowing that this man has harmed children in the way that he has harmed them. He added that it was an entirely sensible approach. Now, this webpage, this guy that does the NEMM is an excellent reporter. I'd love to meet him in person and buy this guy a coffee. He is brilliant at what he does. He gets drone footage, he does the photography, he does all this himself. He is good at what he does. I just sort of find some of these things, reading some of these things, because I'm dyslexic as well, but then you sort of realise exactly what it is that you're reading. You're like, oh my God, what the hell is actually happening here? And I'm just glad that this has actually come out. I'm glad that this has actually been raised as an issue, a massive issue, about the police putting themselves under investigation and being completely open about that. The Independent Office of Police Conduct, the IOPC, is investigating Leicestershire Police's internal response of the incident in July, where concerns were originally raised on Sunday, but they didn't attend until Monday. This was what I was saying. Reuben has been remanded into custody and will be sentenced for 17 offences. Pleaded guilty to Friday the 6th of February 2026 at Leicester Crown Court. So this will be when the hearing, and he'll actually get sentenced. I hope they throw away the fucking key. I seriously hope they throw away that bloody key. The comments are open. If anybody wants to leave a comment, please do. I'll be going over to a different subject in a few seconds. I just thought I'd do a quick report on this. It does not deserve. It doesn't deserve to be anywhere near anybody. This man doesn't deserve to be here. End of. Anyway, I've been having to post on Facebook just recently for the simple fact that I was banned from YouTube for 2 weeks. I'm on my second strike. I put some post on there. I think it was a short or something along those lines, and it got me banned for 2 weeks. But now I'm back. That video's gone on this morning. Now, during those 2 weeks, I posted something on Facebook about HMOs here in Melton Mowbray. There was a list that was revealed online and a video that was revealed online from Melton Borough Council of a councillor saying we have 16 HMOs here in Melton Mowbray. And I believe, and still do believe, that it's in the public interest for people to know exactly where these HMOs are, whether they're close to you, whether they're close to a school, whether they're anywhere here and there, if you know what I mean. Let me just redo this because I've just messed that up. 1 second. Yeah, there it is. And I believe people have a right to know where they are. But what I'd done is I'd gone on to Google Maps and I screenshot whereabouts in the vicinity the properties actually were. It wasn't a photo of the actual property. It was a photo of a bunch of properties, but within that vicinity. Now, the police decided that what they'd do is they'd seen my video, I'd released the information, it was factual information. I also had somebody that actually works for the council confirm the information. So it was factual information that I released. And I put it all online, and then basically the police decided that they'd go and take a visit to these addresses that were listed and cause alarm, harassment and distress for the individuals living at those addresses. Why the fuck would they do that? Why would they just not contact me and say, do you mind removing that post? That does not make any sense, other than to cause more trouble than what needed to be caused. People have a right to know where these properties actually are. Anyway, I started receiving messages on Facebook. One of them was quite threatening. If anything happens to my property, I'm going to hold you personally responsible. No names mentioned, no addresses mentioned. So I thought to myself, right, okay, I'll take the post down, because some people have obviously taken offence to it because they don't think it's right that we know whereabouts these illegal migrants are going to be placed here within the vicinity of Melton Mowbray, whether it be near a school, a playground, or anywhere else, because we want to know that our kids are safe and everything else. We don't know who these men are. We haven't got a fucking clue who these men are. We have not got a clue. I don't care what anybody says. So I took the post down, and I thought to myself, right, I'll do an emergency video apologising if I caused anybody any discomfort or anything like that. And I went down the police station last Friday. Now, down at the police station, I walked in and I asked what was going on, and then they interviewed me under caution. They interviewed me under caution. Now, I wasn't ready for that. I didn't think I'd be taken into an interview room and interviewed under caution. I said to them, am I under arrest? They said no. So I could have left. I could have left at any time. But the fact that they interviewed me under caution because of a factual post that I'd put online is worrying. That is designed in its entirety, that they've been round to these other properties and told people and everything else, and I started receiving, let's just say, threats, causing alarm, harassment and distress to me, personally, when they could have gone about it in a different way, needs to be questioned and needs to be highlighted. I should not have been interviewed under caution. They should have said, do you mind removing that post? Now, we're living in a society at the moment where basically political correctness trumps the truth. People's feelings trump the truth. If people don't like the truth, they can ring the police and they can say, I am alarmed, harassed and distressed by this particular thing that's online. And the police are actually policing online more than what they are the streets with shoplifting, rapists, murderers and everything else out there. And interviewing people under caution like me for putting factual information out on Facebook about HMOs. Now, as I said before, this has been highlighted on my Facebook page. I'm not going to release the list of HMOs, but it was freely available online for people to view. It's since been taken down. The council have blocked it because they don't want people knowing where these people are actually going. You know, the ones that come across on the boats illegally, the men. Just men of fighting age, them ones, yeah. The ones that stay in hotels illegally, the ones where there's been multiple crimes committed, especially in Epping, where a child was abused by a bloke from Ethiopia. And instead of putting him in prison and punishing him, they basically, I think he got out of prison anyway because of David Lemmy, and he was walking the streets for God knows how many days. 2 days, was it? And then they basically sent him back to his own country and gave him £500 for the privilege of doing something to one of your children. That's what happened. Let's be honest about it. That is exactly what fucking happened. No matter what anybody says. Now, the fact that I was interviewed under caution would say to me, this actually does say to me, I have been silenced at releasing this information of where these HMOs are. I can't release that information now. I can't physically turn around and say these particular people will be at this address and here's a picture of that address if you wondered where it was. I can't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. Because 3 people have complained. Now, there's one particular person, I know who it is that's complained. I've done my research and everything else. Is a landlord whose name appears 5 times, actually. Well, it did appear 5 times within that thing. Is basically selling out to Serco. But they're disguising the name. The word Serco has been taken off of the forms. I've got the PDF documents to actually prove that. I've got all the proof. I've got all the evidence. Everything I'm saying is factual, not false. Now, what do you guys think about somebody being silenced from telling the truth online? Telling the truth. Factual information. I made sure I'd got everything correct before I released that information. Who else have they done this to? Let me think. Yeah, I can think of a couple of people. But to say I was annoyed, I walked out that police station thinking to myself, what's just happened? I don't know quite what's happened. And when he started saying, you have the right to remain silent, you have the right to an eternal, I was like, what are you saying that for? I thought they only said that when you were under arrest. Yet he said I'm not under arrest. Now, I have put an official complaint in. About Melton Police doing this, and I will be following it up. I'm going to give it another week. If nothing happens, I will be following it up and I'll be making a claim for basically I can't say much more than that, but there will be a claim going in. Them overstepping their powers. Now, you can get compensation for this, but what I'll be doing with that compensation, if I did receive any compensation for it, we'll be giving it to charity. I will not keep one single penny of that compensation because I don't believe I deserve it for doing something, you know, that I think everybody should know. I think it should be freedom of information and everybody should be able to sort of, you know, see that. Right, I'm going to have a look, see if we've got any comments. I don't think we have. It says here we're live chat. Let's see how many we've got watching. 1. And I think that one person is actually me. But there we go. But yeah, I mean, when you've been interviewed under caution and everything, and remember this is my first, well, more or less my first live video back on YouTube since everything that happened, because I posted a video on there that was deemed against the rules of YouTube. Basically, the video, I think the short that I actually posted was proving that there is much more extremism on the far left than there is the right. Because I was talking, the bloke was talking about certain types of organisations and how many have been classed as terrorist organisations that are on the left and there's none on the right, and how many assassination attempts have been made by the far left and the far right and all that sort of stuff, and putting up the statistics and all that sort of stuff. And it proved what he was saying, but it was done in such a way that it was very extreme, I suppose. I don't know. But that got taken down. I got banned for 2 weeks. I'm on my second strike, so I've got to watch what I say and what I do. Because it would seem to me that YouTube may have gone a little woke. But there you go. Again, that's one of those things, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, back to the police. We'll see what happens. I'll try and keep you updated as I possibly can about me being interviewed under caution via Melton Police and everything else. This has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Go and hit the notification bell. And I will hopefully see you in the next video. Hopefully today. Roll the outro. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.